Hello, my beautiful diamonds, my TikToker, SheilaTruelove. I just got home. Yes. And while I was on the bus in my stretch limousine, I checked out this TikTok and it just hit me. Because I've always known this when it comes to, you see how many of these pastors are living in like mansions and they're driving Lamborghinis and Corvettes and these whatever cars that I'm not really impressed with that. I never have been. I prefer a man who drives a Honda and a Toyota because that'll last all the way into paradise. But they say like you purchase these expensive cars, it's a form of an investment. But anyway, I just like a man who's practical and sensible if I was into that scene of dating, whatever. But I was just checking this video out and it is so true. Don't put Joyce Myers in this category. Don't put Joel Osteen, because Joyce Myers, I don't call it tithes. No, I support her ministry because all the work this woman does for people in Africa and all over the world as a missionary, and she has over 150 books. So that's how I tend to support her ministry. I have so many of her books. I love her so much. Yes, I have almost every book and her tapes. And you see I have her cube. She have all of these things where you're getting something for your money. Besides a very encouraging and uplifting message. It's not like these other folks who I know that they have books and all of that stuff also, but they're very religious books. I don't do religious books. I like spiritual books, and that's Joyce Myers. But let me share this here with you briefly.
Another Bible lie. Tithing. Tithing is a scam designed to scare you into giving your hard-earned money by threatening you with being cursed by God if you don't give up your cold cash. What your pastor won't tell you is that the Bible doesn't have one instance of modern-day tithing. Tithing was made up by clergy to increase financial giving from churchgoers. But the Bible doesn't contain one example of God commanding 10% of anyone's income. Pastors bank on the fact that the average Christian knows nothing about their Bible and even less about proper interpretation of the Bible. They simply point to Malachi and say, "See, it says you're robbing God if you don't tithe." But what these brainwashed individuals don't understand is that tithing was never money in the context of the storehouse. The storehouse was a place where Levitical priests kept the food for temple worship and for their own use, being that Levitical priests attended to the temple 24 hours a day. So the Israelites were commanded by God to give 10% of their crops to the Levitical priest. Only the Israelites were commanded to do such a thing, not you or I. The book of Hebrews says that the tithing practice was destroyed through Jesus' death and resurrection, and that believers were no longer obligated to practice tithing anymore. So why does your pastor tell you to tithe? Because he or she is a liar who wants to follow in the steps of T.D. Jakes. Pastors attempt to keep up with the Joneses and need planes, boats, and luxury items to do it. You see, church is nothing more than a place for someone to sell you false hope while taking your real money. Don't be a dumb ass. Keep your money or help the homeless and the hungry. No God is going to rain you down a job, a husband, or a house. Learn how to invest wisely and watch your money grow. But if you keep tithing away your money to these churches, you will make pastors rich while your broke ass is on the prayer line every Sunday asking God for the same money your dumb ass already gave away. Follow, like, and share.
I mean, he really went to the extremes, because you do have a lot of people who take advantage of people in the church. A lot of these people are giving up like 10% of their income. There's nowhere in the Bible where it demands that or orders that for us. And when they did their tithing, the Israelites, before Jesus Christ came and set up a whole new rules and laws and regulations, they gave food. There was fruit. There was clothing. That had nothing, and then they exchanged animals. There was nothing about money or income. So when you see these people sitting around here, driving around in these luxurious cars, and you struggling like hell to pay your rent and keep food in your house, Don't do that anymore. I use my money, whatever I have extra, to help people who are older. And I mean people who are like 60, because the Bible says once your parents hit the age of 60, then if you have children and grandchildren, they're supposed to take care of their parents. And a lot of these adult children don't do that. So when a person is like 60 or someone who's disabled and have disabilities, maybe I'll help them. I'll take one or two of their bills, like their cell phone bill and their Wi-Fi bill, and depending on their utility bill. And I can help out for maybe 3 months, 3 to 6 months. I remember when I go in the supermarket, my son had to grab me and put a stop to it. Because I would actually see older people and I would say, I'm paying your groceries, ma'am. Yes, today I'm paying your groceries. Some people looked at me like I had 3 heads or that I was crazy. But yeah, that's because it makes me feel good and it keeps me energized. You know? But when it comes to my church, I have my church is on Zoom. And you know you have to pay for Zoom. And everyone that attends my Christian meeting is always over 100 people. So even if each person gave $10 or $20, that's way more than enough. But whatever you tithe or give, better yet, this ain't no tithing. You're supposed to keep that silent. You're not supposed to tell people how much you're giving. Some people, they like to write a check because the check have their name on it. And, you know, they'll give a certain amount of money so they could get special treatment. But you're supposed to give in silence because the Bible says if you announce it to the world, you've already got your reward. So don't let any of these religious, I told you I don't do religion anymore. I have a Bible study group that I'm a part of. Religion, I'm done with that. And when I do go to a church for the fellowship part and maybe a good sermon, it's always non-denominational. I'm not trying to have no more cultish, Jehovah's Witness nonsense. No. Non-denominational. You have some people who believe in the Trinity, some people who don't. You have some people who are more spiritually stronger, and some people are religious, whatever. But you take from it what you need to help keep you spiritually strong. Anything that's going to help keep you spiritually strong, by all means, you should be a part of it. I love it for the fellowship. And then you also have people praying for you. You know how powerful prayer is? Hard work and prayer, honey, will get you a long, long way. So this is just another lie. It's not a lie that the Bible told. No, it's a lie that these religious leaders are telling their so-called flock. Yeah, they're fleecing the flock, all right. But these religious leaders tell these lies. And I suggest, like I said, use it for people who are disabled, older people, or people who you decide. Like with the Catholic Church, Catholic Charities, I have no problem giving a contribution for that. Do you see all that the Catholic Charities do for people? They help homeless, they have pantries, they have food, they have shelters, they have places where they can help you get apartments and housing. Jehovah's Witnesses don't do none of that. They just want you to go and go recruit for the governing body so that they can stay in power, so that they can dominate and control people. Whatever, child. They do nothing for anyone except for come knocking at your door uninvited. Jesus didn't even do that. Anytime Jesus came to a person's house, he was always invited to their home. But anyway, I just want you to be careful with all the scams that are out there today. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. I'm going to make me some hamburgers and I'm going to have spinach for dinner. Yes.